Hi, guys. I'm very excited to talk to you. You're both my favorite characters on the show, so this is a real treat for me. What I love most about you guys is that when your characters are around other commanders, you both always have this mild look of, wow, these dudes are batshit crazy. So, since Lawrence and Nick always come across as like reasonable guys, what do you think ultimately motivates them to stay behind in Gilead?
I don't know. I don't know that, in Nick's case, that he was a particularly fully formed person before he came into Gilead. So I don't know if he knows anything else. I think this is the only thing he's ever known really as an adult. And even though he's striving to find his moral compass, and I think he has a very different moral compass to a lot of the other commanders in Gilead, I don't know if he necessarily has the tools or like the intellect to know how to break free of that.
By the way, I think it's really interesting and realistic to have a character like Nick who is dealing, it's a very realistic portrayal of how complicated people can become, passive participants in in an oppressive regime. I think part of the reason that Lawrence is staying, that Lawrence didn't kill himself in the wake of basically causing Eleanor's death, is that June has kind of inspired in him, I always say she's blown on the spark of decency with Nick and with me. And she's actually showed me a path to redemption that is going to be very difficult and very, very dangerous, and will even put us, I think, into conflict with each other down the road. But I think that's the reason that I think Lawrence needs to stay there to see if he can do something to soften the horror that he helped to create.
Bradley, not to segue out of this real quick, but I got to tell you, some of my absolute favorite movies of yours are like Mike and Adventures in Babysitting and Eric and Billy Madison. I just thought you were so great when you were playing these douchebags. Just for fun, what do you think those guys are up to these days?
They're probably at Trump rallies, I think.
Yeah, I
think they're all in MAGA dudes. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have a theory that, after Eric attempted murder and got fired, I think he tried to pick himself up by the bootstraps and get a new lease on life, go to med school, and then he changed his name to Dean Armitage. I think that's probably what happened. No, so a lot of people don't know this, but I don't know. I wasn't aware until I started researching it, but there was actually a Handmaid's Tale movie made back in 1990 with Robert Duvall. I was just curious if either one of you guys ever saw that movie.
I'm going to confess that I did. I did see that movie before we shot season 1, and it taught me one really important thing about playing this character, which is I did not want to wear a beret. So I'm really happy that I saw it because I was able to scratch that before we got to Toronto.
It's a hard look to pull off, I know.
Really hard look. I don't look like Aidan Quinn. If I had that bone structure, I'd be rocking anything. But I knew I couldn't pull that off.
I have not seen the movie. I don't like to watch other actors work.
I can appreciate that. Guys, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're talking to a lot of people today, but I love this season and I've loved the entire show. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.